Good day, everybody. Welcome back to our tour of Britain. We're here in Wick in northern Scotland on the mainland, but we are now heading off the mainland. We're heading north and we're going up into the Orkney Islands. So my current settings are 5 p.m. just to give us some light, but I am running current weather. Reason for that is that, well, we're up in the north of Scotland. The weather's never really that good up here, so we might as well fly in it and see what happens. So it looks like we're going to be pretty low down, and we're going to go for a tour around the islands here up in the north. So let's hop on board. We'll get fired up. Looks like we got a good few people flying with us today, and we can get ourselves up and running. Alright, so we're inside the aircraft. We'll get rid of that. We don't need it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw on the beacon light and the nav lights. We'll turn on the power. Let this initialize for a second. We're going to come up on the fuel pumps. We got about half tanks, which is perfect. We got mixture cutoff is in and fuel is on both. We can get rid of the warning. And we'll go a few seconds on the fuel pump.
TOS system test. Okay.
There we go. Crack the throttle. And we are good to start. Power coming on. Alright, engine is started. Go away, push back. I don't want you to start automatically like that. Leave me alone. Alright, we're going to turn on the avionics and we'll get our panel set up here. We're going to get rid of that. CDI is going to go over to nav. PDF and wind will go to option 3. We'll back out of there. And transponder, we will turn VFR and alt. And we can go back on that one. So we're set there. Come out on U. And of course you didn't load in my flight plan. You pain in the butt. Alright, well, I know where we're going, so we'll have to do it manually. Alright, so let's get the engine revving a little bit higher than 600 RPM. So the current winds here at Wick, I'll punch the MEDAR into the chat for everybody. Basically 310, so we're going to be taking off to the northwest. And we do, as you can see, we got broken cloud at 2200, overcast at 2800. It's only 12 degrees out and the winds are 1011. Just turn the barrow down. Let's do the barrow. There we go. Now, if you're like me and you want to line it up and it's showing in the wrong measurement, 126 is the altitude of the airport. So we'll just dial this down until we get down to about 130 or so. There, should be around there. And that is good to go. Thank you, Talia. That's a great help. It'll get us to where we need to go. Alright, so I think we're ready to go. So we're going to head off. We're going to take runway 31. So we're going to taxi out here on Charlie and then taxi down to the end. And we'll get out of here. So parking brake is off. Swing around here. And we'll get going. Everybody is up and running. This is the airport. Seen a few different tags in the area. There's Nick. Dirk gently, yes. I don't think too many people will get that reference, though. Alright, taxi light is on. You can see that low cloud. It's going to make this very interesting. Alright, we'll just swing around at the threshold line here. There we go. Get the parking brake back on. I'm going to go down 10 degrees of flaps. There we go. And make sure we are set to go. So, landing lights on, taxi light off, strobe lights are on. And everything is good. So we're going to be heading from here. We're going to take off. We're going to end up heading north. And we're going to be going up by John O'Groats. And John O'Groats, of course, being the northernmost town on the mainland. And then we'll go from there. So I'll be hopping around a little bit, checking my maps, but should be good. And able to navigate, so I think everybody is here. Excellent. Alrighty. Let's go flying. Power coming up. It's 50 knots, 55 knots. Ease back slightly. And there we go. So now that we're up, we're going to turn north. There goes the Spitfire. We're going to kind of follow the coast here. I think we're going to set an altitude of about 500 feet. Pull back on the power a bit. Follow the coast up. This will take us upwards towards John O'Groats, which is up on the northern tip. And we're going to stay just under the clouds here. So we'll take that over to about 10 degrees for now, and we'll pop in and out. See how we're doing, but we're about 500 feet. I think that's pretty much where we're going to stay. We can bring the flaps up. Make sure they're all the way up. Get that low light levels up here, especially with the clouds at this time of the day. The wonderful water effects. We're just going to follow the coast. So as we head off, if you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Grow our little community here. Throw a like on the video. Streaming a couple times a week. And some pre-recorded videos as well when we get there. Flying everything from airliners to general aviation to helicopters. It's all great fun. And the community is always welcome, be us flying multiplayer like this or on VATSIM. It's always great to have everybody along for the flights as we basically tour the world and see what's out there. Let's see how we're doing here. So what, 2450 on the RPMs. Just watching the mixture there. Get an ideal point. We're going to kind of buzz the coast here, heading up towards, as I said, John O'Groats, which is up here on the coast. We're going to get some nice views down here. Nick, I don't know if you found the bottom of the clouds up there, but if you have, if you could let us know in the chat what we're looking at. I'm sure it's getting dark ahead. So as I mentioned, John O'Groats is a well-known little town, northernmost part on the British mainland, and 1350 for the ceiling. Okay, and it has a very unique signpost in it. A lot of famous, well, people get their picture taken with it. Very famous landmark. Well, once we hit the town, we might try going up to 1,000 feet. We should be able to do that now. So go to 1,000. Vertical speed mode. We'll go up at 200 feet per minute. But we're coming up to the town of John O'Groats, which is right up here. Passing it over here, and then from John O'Groats we're going to head out on Hoy Island, which you can kind of see. It's the big island out here. We're going to be heading up that way. So here's the town coming up. Very interesting cloud cover here. There she is. So we're now going to head off towards Hoy. It's going to be a left turn. About 310 degrees. Oh, looks like my routes come back online. Oh, it's awful nice of it. So I can go back here and I will just go into nav mode. And I'll let the airplane take us there as we continue to watch the views. So down here in John O'Groats is where that sign is that everybody knows, that famous sign. And there we go. We are now leaving mainland Britain. As we head out into the Orkneys. So the island we're heading to, Hoy, has basically 3 villages on it. Most of the population is on the southeast, but we're going to go up and we're going to take a look at some of the more rugged areas. So we'll hang at 1,000 feet. See Nick up ahead doing a little bit of trailblazing for us. So this island we're coming up to here is known as Storma. 2 little villages on it. We have Nether Town on the north side and Upper Town on the south. I would have to assume it's a fishing village or fishing towns or something. But we are going to be passing a couple famous landmarks on today's flight. Which I will point out when we get a little bit closer. Oh, it's a little stuttery there, macro. See the little villages. Looks like this might be farming. Yeah, everyone else is pretty smooth. So we're heading out over the water. There's Hoy Island. So all these islands that we're coming up on here surround this body of water, which we can just start to see. And that is where, well, there's a little town up here called Scapa, and this was Scapa Flow, very famous Royal Navy anchorage, especially during World War I and World War II. And I believe it was near the start of World War II. The German U-boats actually made their way into this area, or at least one U-boat did, and sunk a couple ships in here and then got away. So, all famous in Royal Navy history. We're going to kind of come up across the south of it and then come around the west side and then back over the top. You see that's where the anchorage was. And this fleet generally operated North Atlantic and the North Sea. If Wayne was here, he could fill us in a little bit more. I'm sure he's got a little bit more knowledge about it. Uh-oh. Maxim, you want Disco Dave's put out some disco lights for us? See that low cloud we're flying under here. The weather's going to be like this all the way. And just to give you a heads up, the airport we're going to up in Sanday Island, is very short runways, so just be advised. There's not a lot of room. So this island here, I believe, is called Long Hope. A little town of Brims down here. And then there's a little town called Lioness up on this part, up here. and Lincoln Ness is up on the far side. We're actually going to fly by it. Oh no! I can see where's this go? I can see his nav lights. So we got that. I mean, if he wants to throw a glitter ball up there, 1,400 feet. That's pretty short, even for a 172. Oh, it's doable. I've done it, but I think it's grass fields. Let me 1,700 feet is the longest runway. It's not saying what it is, but there's a couple 1100s. There's 1,300 and 1,700. I think there's 3 runways, but we'll worry about that when we get there. So we're coming out over Hoy. You can see there's some farming that goes on here. This is that little town I mentioned. I did, Nick. I grabbed it just before. So same guy I think has done the Shetlands as well. So I've got that one too. There's a Rhythmic Ryan out there somewhere. Here's the island of Hoy. Here's the other little village up there.
500.
Good thing we went up to 1,000 feet, as just got the 500-foot warning for the altitude. Again, very scenic up here at the top of the world. Speed control is throttle. Mixture will lean out the engine. As you get to optimal, you'll see a slight increase in RPM before it starts dropping off again. And that's when you're burning the optimal amount of fuel. Any more mixture than that, you're wasting fuel. It doesn't burn, it's just pumped out the exhaust. Helps increase the range. I think in real life you can get up to close to 40% efficiency. Hello, Air Trooper. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Yeah, we're flying over the Orkney Islands, north of Scotland at the moment. We're currently over the island of Hoy and doing a little bit of sightseeing. Again, live weather and in-game time. It's currently about 5 to well, no, it's almost 5:30. I remember I got that half-hour change. And there's the sun coming through the clouds. So we're going to fly up here in this little bay between these ridges here on the island. See some of the water effects that they've been adding. It's very cool, very rugged, and though there's a little bit of terrain issues there, but still, you can imagine what it looks like. So we're making our right-hand turn, and we're going to head up across the island and come out at the town of Lincoln Ness. And then we'll be turning east again. Magic Norm, no, I didn't post the flight plan. These are kind of done as a follow me type of series of flights. What I will probably end up doing for the next series, because the legs are longer, is I will make the flight plans available. All the details for the flights, you will be able to find them on the Discord. Uh-oh, Mighty Mackerel spotted some scenery he likes, so he's going off and buzzing the valley. So if you come to the Discord, you'll find all the information about the flights posted as we approach them. A little bit of stuttering there. But yeah, I'll post the flight plans for the next series for sure. For all the other flights I do, they're basically sim brief flight plans. This is the little community of Lincoln Ness. You're on the Isle of Hoy, which we are now leaving. So you can see the bay in there. Imagine that filled with World War II warships. That's what it would have been like. So we're leaving the Isle of Hoy. And we're heading over, this main island over here is called mainland. And yeah, Nick, this one is for you. They're up here on the edge of the water. There's a little town called Ophir, and they make a really, really nice spiced gin. Oh, fishing boat. A very nice gin. Can't get it over here, but I do have it when I'm over in Britain, so if you can find it, give it a try. It's a nice one. And you can see in here the big anchorage that they used. You know, thinking it was fairly protected by having the islands all around it. No, it is spelt, well, let me type it out. Alright, you should be able to hear me now. Sorry, when I restarted OBS, it turned my mic off. Yep, so that's the town of Wolf here back there. As I said, we're going up the mainland here. So you should be able to see me and hear me now. Now, Mackerel's the only airplane stuttering for me, but everything else seems pretty smooth. So I'm just going to keep a bit of a better eye on it. Alright, so if you ever take the ferry up here to the Orkneys, the town you will come in at where the ferry is going to dock is this one up here. It's called Kirkwall. And I think you can get the ferry out of Edinburgh, Aberdeen. Not sure how much further south. But this is where the ferry goes into, the main town here. You must have the copper wire internet connection. Thanks, Air Trooper. So there's Kirkwall, main town here on mainland. And we're basically going to continue all the way out here and then head north. Little airport strip here we're going to fly by. There's the harbor. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, Kevin. Maybe they're using twine for your internet connection now. Fairly big airport here. That's Tanker Ness. A little village. Sure, that's the Tanker Ness or the Kirkwall Airport. Oh, there you go. You're a little bit smoother now. Oh, so we got a couple people doing a low and over of the airport. Kirkwall Airport. Thank you, Nick. Oh, looks like Chewy, what are you doing, a touch and go? Either that or you're running into use the loop. Alright, so we're coming off, well, I guess this is technically, there's a little bridge there. I'm not sure if you call this an island or not. But we're going to come out to this point and then head off northward as we continue our look at the Orkneys. So let's see where we're going next. We're gonna go up to a place called Bay. Actually, the island, his name is Sanday Island. And I believe it's that island up there. So that's where we're going to be heading next. There we go. We're going to make our turn to about 30 degrees or so. And it's looking very cold down there in that water. Oh yeah, Bush Talk Radio. I've never used that. I have seen that. But no, thanks for that. I do try to make them interesting and where we're flying over. There's a lot of water up here though. We're not even on the far out islands yet. This is the inner islands. The Orkneys. A lot of Viking culture up this way as well, of course. Back from about 850 when the Vikings started coming over and through to the early 1000s. A lot of this was controlled by the Vikings. I think these were the Norwegian Vikings up here. And they control that. So that culture, there's still a lot of it up here in the islands. Especially in the Orkneys. In fact, you get a lot of Viking festivals up here. I think they do, I think it's the New Year's. They do a whole ship-burning Viking type of fire festival up here. Which is pretty cool. Pale golden light there and the outline of a Spitfire flying along beside us. It's pretty cool. And then you can see coming up, there's some wind towers up here on the island. Of course, we're out here in the North Sea and the Atlantic. Not a lot of terrain to slow the wind down. So it's actually a good place for power generation, and you do find a lot of wind turbines just out in the water. I think they're a little bit further south of here. Well, looks like we still got everybody here. And so far I'm the only one to have crashed, so that was good. You'll have to ignore the little route marker on top saying we're 13 miles to go, because we're going the scenic route and we're going to be making a left turn in a minute. Our destination's actually just up that way, but we're going to head over, head off again to the northwest. That's going to take us up to our next interesting point. Mackerel's buzzing the wind turbines down there. And Disco Dave's following them in. Give him a new call sign of the stuttering spit. Alright, we're just going to touch the southern end of this island here. And this island here is called E-Day. A couple little town E-Day village is up here, and down on the southern port we have a place called Baccaland. And then we're heading out across the water again. This island over here, I've actually heard of this island as well, Rouse Island. Not sure exactly why I've heard of it, but I have. Sun up there and the light coming down. Well, at least the weather's cleared a little bit. We get some sunlight coming down now. It's very nice. Checking the weather, and it's looking decent. Winds are still kind of out of the northwest, so we'll remember that when we head back to our airport. This is one of the longer stretches out here. Yeah, it's kind of odd though, if you're seeing everybody else without stuttering or hesitations, I'm not sure why you would be. I mean, if you look now, I mean, you're fine there. It's just occasional, right? Where'd you go? But, yeah. I mean, you're nice and smooth at the moment. I don't know. Must be something odd in your part of the world. And by that I mean your street. But yeah, looking good at the moment. We've got everybody else looking good as well. So there's E-Day Island, and very remote. Yeah, could be. Could be, yeah, it could be something that's interfering with his upload speed. A little bit of water action down there. I guess that's the wind is picking up a little bit. Seeing little white caps. That's Rouse Island. Good. So I'm paranoid now. I'm doing more checking the stream and watching how the stream's looking than I am enjoying the scenery, the light here. Alright, so where are we? We are... So we're heading up to another famous area here, which is directly ahead. So this is Westray Island. We're flying up to. And we're going to come up, and then there's a smaller island. I think that's it right there, above this one, called Papa Westray. And we're going to fly over 2 airports. And those 2 airports serve as the start and end point of the world's shortest commercial airline route. So you can come up here and fly between the 2. And you'll have flown, like I said, the world's shortest commercial airline route. And I think it's... Let me just take a quick look up and see how long it takes. It's about 1 minute. Apparently 53 seconds is the record. So we're gonna fly over the airport. So if you guys want to do a little touch and go down at those airports, feel free. Beautiful pale golden light here. Oh, the stuttering spit is back. I don't know, Kevin, maybe you've got a Peppa Pig problem. Well, I know you don't pay full fare. I've seen stuff on it where it is subsidized by the British government to keep it going. But you can't walk. I mean, it's I don't know if that's considered the Atlantic or the North Sea, but it ain't there. But if you want to do touch and goes, so you can see you did it. I'm going to be taking you up there. So they're on the northern parts of the island here. One of them's up there, the other one's right across the channel here. Oh, have any of you guys tried the float planes? And how do they do on water? Haven't tried yet. Well, the only one I've landed, well, and it was back a while ago, was the Icon A5. But I haven't done it since they changed the water and put floats on the airplanes. Oh, it was good? Okay. I should look for something we could do in float planes. That could be an interesting one. fly from lake to lake and stuff like that. All right. So we're turning up towards that airport now. It's up on the top of the island here. So feel free to head up, and then right across the water on this other island is where the other airport is. So if you want to do a low and over, want to land there, feel free. Then we got a long straight flight back to our destination airport. Winds are still out of the northwest. So we're going to be landing on the northwest runway at our destination at Sanday. The mackerel's heading down for the airport. It's not very big, it's right there. Yeah, well, you shouldn't be extending your gear when you go into the water. That can lead to bad things. So here's the airport on Westray, right ahead of us, we're coming up to. And then right across is the airport for Papa Westray. Look at that water, surf back around the land. Really cool. I think they published the flight time as 1 minute 30 seconds. There you go. One paved runway and a couple grass strips. And here is the Papa Westray Airport. Right there. You can see how short that is, and it is a scheduled airline flight. Now you compare that 1 minute flight time with the, what's it, the longest flight? I think it was 18 and a half hours. That's something. Alright. My mackerel heading in. Everybody's down taking a look. Very cool. Alright. So now we're heading off to our destination. We're heading over to the island of Sanday. And we're going to be landing just outside the main town at the Sanday airport. So it's basically the island that's ahead of us here. We're going to fly over to it, and then we're going to turn back southwards. And we're going to be landing on runway 34, which is the shortest runway. It's 1,100 feet. So we'll do a, well, I'm going to do basically a right hand downwind. Yeah, I don't think these airplanes have a TCAS system that would show traffic like that. I know they're talking about it in the future with a lot of airplanes, because basically you just have to be able to read the transponder codes. Part of it is just pricing, though, for the real airplanes. Alright, the wind is getting a little bit stronger. I can see more little white caps down there. Of course, we're at the north end of the Orkneys now. Nice cloud buildups. So this is our second last leg on this trip. Next week will be our last leg, and we're going to be flying from where we're landing in Sanday up to the Shetland Islands, which are further to the north. Yeah, I think the TBM has it too, or at least it's an option you can get on it. And that will, once we are up in the Shetlands, that will wrap up our tour of the British Isles, basically. We've covered everything from down off the coast of Cornwall and the Scilly Islands all the way up here and heading up further to Shetland. So the airport is, let's look at our maps, down around there. So, not too far to go. Again, we're at basically circuit height, 1,000 feet. And everything is looking good. Back in for the last bit of it here. So we're going to make a turn over here and head down towards the airport. And again, we're going to be landing on runway 34. So I'm just going to dial that in as a reference point. The actual runway heading, if anyone is interested, is not shown. 34 will do. There's the airport. Let's get the autopilot off. Start flying parallel. Yeah, it looks like she used the same sort of thing. It's got a couple grass strips and then a paved runway. So we're going to want... It looks like it's one of the grass strips. Yep. It's the shorter grass strip there. This is the one we're going to be landing on. So we'll go mixture full rich. The landing lights are on. Bring the power back to 1500. The speed coming back. Holding altitude. We're in the white zone. First notch of flaps. Second notch of flaps. And we want to trim for about 65. Make our base turn. Our final. And watching the speed. There's the airport ahead of us. Have to go fairly slowly to stop, so we're going to actually go to full flaps for this landing, which gives a landing speed of about 55 knots. There we go.
500.
Get it trimmed back. She'll stall at 40, so we got 15 knots to play with. Of course, we got no lights or anything here as we come in. Just judging by eye. Secret to doing this: pick a point, usually the end of the runway, and hold it on your windscreen. If it's moving down, it means you're too high, like you're going to land long. If it's moving upwards, you're too shallow or too steep, and you're descending faster on your slope. So it should not be moving on your windshield as you come in, and that means you're heading towards that point. That's what you want. And once we're down, we'll taxi down to the little hangar buildings there. That's coming up on our right. So there's the edge of the runway coming in. You can see we're nicely lined up. Kick of the wind there. Ourselves lined up again. Watch the speed. Keep it at 55. You don't want to get slower than that at this point. Let's come over the fence. Cut the power. As soon as we touch down, we're going to bring the flaps all the way up, get all the weight down on the aircraft, and use the brakes. There we go. Welcome to the island of Sanday. Let's park up here along the edge of the runway. I'll go around Kevin here. Nice landing in the spit. Looks like you had no real issues. Try not to clip your wing. There we go. Come back in. Lights are off, mags are off, and everything is off. Get back into the sim. Parking brake is on. Let's get a nice view here. All right, and there's Talia coming in. Yeah, it comes up quick when you're on a short runway like that. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much, guys, for watching. It was a great flight. Got to see an area of the world I've never been to. And we've got one leg left. So next week we're doing our final leg as we head from here up to the Shetland Islands. So hopefully we'll see you all then. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you on the next one. Bye for now.